Welcome back to Thrifty Whiskey, where we drink whiskey at Thrifty. Joyce, what do we got today?
Today we're drinking Kilbeggan Single Grain Irish Whiskey. Single Grain Irish Whiskey is the least popular and well-known type of Irish whiskey. It is the product of one distillery and contains multiple grains in the mash bill. This whiskey has a mash bill of 94% corn and 6% malted barley. It is triple distilled at Cooley Distillery and aged in ex-bourbon barrels for 4 years. This bottle comes in at 86 proof. We paid $25 for our bottle with an average retail price of $29. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy.
Thanks, Joyce. Let's go ahead and see what you poured us.
Let's dive in.
Buttered toast.
That's a good whiskey. That smells like a whiskey.
It smells like whiskey, yes. Good? I'm not sure yet.
Compared to that last thing we drank, this smells like whiskey. This could be a whiskey. It's a whiskey's whiskey.
It could be a whiskey.
It is a whiskey.
It's on our show. That narrows it down.
I don't know what kind of tricks this is pulling. We're getting close to April Fools.
I don't pull tricks. That's fair. Getting grain.
I'm getting a lot of corn.
I'm getting grain, oak, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit of vanilla.
Some vanilla. Yeah, it's
a very simple nose so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go in for taste.
I'm getting more buttered toast, buttered bread.
Okay.
Oh, is that sweet?
That's pleasant.
That is sweet and pleasant.
White grape.
Sure. If you say so.
White wine on the finish.
I'm getting apple.
All right.
Like a nice crisp, honey crisp maybe?
I like this on the palate.
Oh yeah, I really like this on the palate.
That's a good palate.
Aldi has those, they call them autumn apples, that it's like almost an apple pie in an apple with a little bit of cinnamon and everything. That's what I'm tasting. The Aldi autumn apple. It doesn't blow me away or anything.
But the nose is not, it's still not robust. Like going
But
back
it's
afterwards.
not I'm not kicking it off my bar.
Yeah, like, I don't love it. I don't hate it.
I'm pretty favorable to the palate, if I'm honest.
The only thing for me so far on this is the palate is almost overachieving from what you get on the nose.
I'm okay with that.
But it downplays the nose. The palate downplays the nose.
To be fair, though, what I'm not drinking here, I'm not sticking my nose in my glass nearly as much.
Not as much, but I'm still sticking my nose
I
in
still
there.
do stick my nose in there. I still am looking for those notes.
I'm just saying that, like, what I'm getting on this palate, I would wish that the nose gave me more.
Yes.
Have you guys added water yet?
Nope, I'm not to right now.
No.
Holy crap.
Is that a good holy crap or a bad
Absolutely it is.
I'm getting like a sour apple in those now.
I'm getting like apple with nutmeg and cinnamon.
Ooh. The spice on the finish.
Some brown sugar.
So you're getting like the whole Dutch apple pie.
Yeah.
The spice on the finish now with the water adds like a...
It's sweet.
The nose is better.
It's better, but it's not... For me,
It's
the
better.
nose is-
It's better. It's not like blow me away better.
No, it's like...
It
Palate,
is
though.
for me because without water, I thought the nose was underachieving.
See,
I still think it's underachieving.
the palate for me, I thought it was pretty good before the water. With the water, I think this is very good. Like, very
This
good.
definitely needs to go on the rocks.
A couple dashes of water. I would do that with this whiskey. Like, yeah, no, add some water. Add some dashes of water to this whiskey. Do it. Just do it.
Or some club soda or...
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You did like a scotch and club soda. I'm not saying it's a scotch, but like a...
I don't think this is scotch.
I don't think it's scotch either.
Okay,
So with that, before we start guessing what this is...
Before we start guessing,
Let's talk about ratings. We're going to talk about the nose, the palate, and the finish on a scale of 0 to 5.
The nose. Initially, I wanted to go 3 on it. Then I tasted it. And the palate was extremely good on this. I'm giving the palate a 4, which undermined the nose. And initially I wanted to go 3. I'm actually knocking it down to 2.5 because after I got the palate, I wanted more from the nose than what I actually got. The first time that's ever happened for me on a whiskey. And then the finish, sweet, well-timed, a little bit of white wine, white grape. I'd go with a 2.5, maybe a 3 on the finish.
So 3. So 3.
The nose was good. It is a whiskey's whiskey nose. There were no notes that were like intriguing or like different for me. However, the notes that were there were done well and it had that complexity that we've been missing in a couple others. So I'm going to give the nose a 3.5. The palate though, I'm really trying not to be biased, but I think this is the best whiskey I've had today. So I'm giving it a 5. This was very good. I loved the notes. Again, nothing super unique. The notes were so exceptionally well done and complement each other so well. And then on the finish, okay. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
So for the nose, even before I tasted this, you're talking about how like the taste affected how you thought of the nose. Even before I tasted, I was giving the nose a 2. I felt it was boring and like boring. Like I feel like I didn't get anything interesting. It wasn't necessarily bad. It's just like nothing there. Palate, I went between a 4 and a 4.5. I'm going to go a 4.5. So big jump from my nose to the palate. This palate was amazing.
I think we all did.
Finish, I think I'm on the same page to you guys, 2.5. Nothing stood out extremely well from the palate, but I think it was still a good finish. I think it had notes on the finish. There were notes there.
The finish did its job.
So with all those ratings, we're going to move on to guesses. We're going to guess what kind of whiskey we think this is, what we think the proof is, what we think retail is, and how much you'd be willing to pay for it.
This is a bourbon. This is 80 proof. I'm going to go this retails for in the neighborhood of 20. And I would absolutely pay 25 for this.
I got notes of buttered toast, which leads me to think this is a scotch of some sort. So I'm just going to go a blended scotch. Retails at 20. I'd probably pay 18.
So I had a guess, and then Eric said bourbon. I'm like, I didn't even think bourbon was an option until he said bourbon. I'm like, maybe. I'm not going with bourbon.
Am I that far out?
I think this is a Irish whiskey.
Hold on.
I'm going Irish, partially because of the color, if I'm honest. Like, it doesn't seem dark enough for me to be bourbon.
I do think that's a very valid point.
But at the same time, we have had some really light bourbons.
If this is an Irish, this is the best Irish I've ever had.
I don't know about that, but I do think I think it's Irish. I am going to go, just because Irish in our price range tends to be pretty low, I'm going to go 84 proof.
Pretty good for an Irish.
Which means it's a low proof bourbon. Honestly, I like this a lot. I think this retails for, I'm going to say 28. I think I would pay 25 and I would not be upset though if I paid up to 30.
All right, let's reveal.
Let's figure out what this is.
If this is an Irish, this is really good for an Irish.
All right, let's see how wrong I was.
Fantastic for a Canadian.
If this is Canadian, I'm leaving. Oh. I'm done.
Okay. This is Kilbeggan Irish whiskey.
Why are we so excited about this?
So this is okay. I'm gonna.
Ooh.
So this is a single grain, right? So there's single malt, pot still malt. There is single grain and there's blended in Irish whiskey. So single grain though, I have never had a single grain. This was the first time I ever had single grain whiskey. Here's the cool part about this whiskey: if you would have done this exact same thing in America, this would be corn whiskey, like Mellow Corn.
Oh.
Okay. So this is it's a Kilbeggan Irish, single grain Irish whiskey. This is 86 proof. It's at least 3 years old because it's Irish, but it's reported around 4 years old. The mash bill is 94% corn, 6% malted barley. Corn whiskey levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cask type is ex-bourbon and finished in various ex-fortified wine barrels. So sherry, port, whatever. Price, we paid $28 for this with $25 plus $3 shipping. And then generally costs around $30. That makes sense on why you would say, you sort of said bourbon, because it is 94% corn. Mostly
I'm not upset that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That is a dang good Irish.
I know the price is above what we said, but as I said, I am not disappointed to pay $30 for it.
You paid $25 plus shipping. $25 is what I said I would pay. I'll pay the shipping.
Ratings from around the web. Distiller gave this an 84, Whiskey Advocate an 88, and Tastings.com a 90.
Pretty good.
For tasting notes from around the web, the nose, vanilla, fruit. Most people said pear or apricot. Caramel, grass, citrus, oak, and bread/sponge cake. On the palate, spice, sweet, caramel, vanilla, fruit, citrus, sugar, oak. And on the finish, spice, oak, fruit, cinnamon, cherry, vanilla.
We got a lot of those.
Yeah.
Also, this bottle has notes of rich vanilla and toasted coconut.
I did not pick up coconut.
No one did, apparently.
I said toast.
I would never get coconut out of that. Coconut to me is too delicate of a flavor.
But I like this.
Oh
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's really good.
For an Irish whiskey, this was super interesting. And like, if I was like to do a custom flight for somebody and talk about to explore Irish whiskey, this is going in my like budget. Explore
absolutely.
Irish whiskey, especially for the price. I mean, again, I know the prices we said aren't necessarily in line.
It's at the top end of our price range. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it even just to have it to share with people and be like, hey, this is a good Irish whiskey.
Here's an Irish whiskey
for our price range.
And here's an Irish whiskey that's unlike any other Irish whiskey that we've ever had. This is legitimately the only single grain Irish I'm even aware of. I don't know of any other single grain.
I mean, I'm
Irish.
sure there are others, but they're probably they are out of our price range.
Probably. I think we've gone on about this enough. If you have any comments about this bottle, leave them down below. And until next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the guy who says,
This drink's on me.